A few days ago I picked up a new capture card since my old one was terrible and frustrating to use. The new capture card is an Elgato HD60S. You should be seeing some footage of it paired with some footage from the old capture card. If you remember the Midnight Club video I made a while back, then you'll completely understand what I'm talking about when I say that the old one is terrible and frustrating to use. No amount of color correction and visual editing sorcery can salvage it. I got it for around $60 and I don't even know what its name is. One issue with these capture cards is that they don't capture PS3 footage. The PS3 outputs video through HDMI, but it also has digital copy protection on the signal called HDCP, or High Bandwidth Digital Copy Protection. One solution is an HDMI splitter, but my splitter keeps the copy protection, or it has some other thing causing it to not record anything at all. The splitter works just fine with my 360, so it's not the splitter. Because I don't want to buy another splitter, I decided to get a composite to HDMI adapter so that I could also play games on my PS2 on a modern TV or monitor. Not only does the composite to HDMI adapter not work on my PS2, despite all the different cables and things I swapped, it doesn't work with the capture card. It doesn't end there. I can't even begin to describe just how awful it looks. Fortunately, it works with my old capture card, so you get to see what it looks like with 2 layers of terrible quality. Not only that, it doesn't crop properly and frequently has audio issues. I'm thoroughly impressed with the lack of quality you're about to witness. First off is Gran Turismo 6. I feel like it's dishonest to call it that when it looks like this. It's closer to Gran Turismo 3 than it is 6. I also never expected it to be this hard to read text on screen. I also noticed that you can press R2 and then use the right stick to move around the screen. Maybe this is a normal feature or one that only works in 480i mode like I'm playing in. Either way, it's my only hope for seeing what the menus are even saying. Here's Need for Speed Rivals, the PS2 port. Well, actually it's the PS3 port. Definitely not the PS4 port. People sometimes say that Rivals is the best looking NFS game, at least during the day. Now obviously that's for Rivals being maxed out on PC at 4K or higher, but can you look at this and with a straight face tell me that this is the best looking Need for Speed game? Can you honestly do that? I got a head-to-head prompt and it actually took me a bit to figure out if it was R1 or L1 to decline. This is Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now of course when this game is brought up the question always follows. Is it the newer Most Wanted that came out in 2012 and was made by Criterion, or was it the old one from 2005 made by Black Box? Looking at it, maybe it's a bit hard to tell. Honestly, if you ask me, the old Most Wanted on 360 looks far better than what you're seeing right now. When playing Most Wanted 2012 through this adapter, I think it's safe to say that both graphics and gameplay are worse than they are in Most Wanted 05. Next up we have Burnout Paradise 1.0, or maybe it's the pre-alpha. That's what it looks like anyway. And before you ask, no, I can't legally provide this 2002 build of Paradise. I think it's a pretty lucky coincidence that I had 1.0 Paradise on my PS3, so you can not only see Paradise before its lighting update, but also without any lighting whatsoever. Dodging traffic is so much harder when you can't see anything. And you might be wondering, does Burnout 3 look better on original hardware? The answer to your question is yes. Yes, it absolutely does. Last but not least is Need for Speed Carbon, the PS3 port. Trust me, it's the PS3 port. I promise. Carbon was one of the few games on PS2 that I'd play like crazy. It being my first NFS game and my entry into car culture of any kind is partly why it's my favorite game of all time. When I got my PS3 in 2010, the first game I got for it was Carbon. But if I had known that it was going to look like this, I think I'd stick with the PS2 port. Now let me ask you, if you had a PS2 that looked just as a PS2 normally does, would you upgrade to a PS3 if you knew that it would end up looking like this? Let me know in the comments below.